What's up, grinders? It's the Country CEO back again with another video. New year, new habits, new things, resolutions, goals, visions, all of that good stuff, right? Right. Good to see you again. Glad to be back with you. Got a video today that's going to talk about how does the dump truck business, particularly driving, affect your health, right? How does driving a dump truck affect your health? Believe it or not, that's a very great subject that needs to be discussed, which was something that was discussed back then when I first got started, because I think it's a very relevant subject and I think it's very conducive to the flourishment, to the fruitfulness of your business, right? Right. All right. So let's get into it, right? How does driving a dump truck affect your health? Well, there are several ways. Let's begin by talking about unhealthy eating, right? Unhealthy eating. Started in this business when I was 27 years old. You know, you're young, you're vibrant, you got a lot of vigor, strength. You know, I could probably, jump off the top step of the dump truck to the ground and no big deal, right? Jump up to the top step from off the ground, get in the truck, no big deal, right? But as time progresses, things bring upon a change, right? But nobody ever spoke to me about eating right and what I needed to do in regards to being a truck driver, particularly in dump trucks, and how that can end up putting me into some bad eating habits, right? All right, so let's look at this thing, right? One of the things I discovered being a dump truck driver, we tend to look for what? Truck stops, right? Or stores that operate like truck stops, right? They don't always have to be the Flying J or those kinds of truck stops that the big truckers, over the road truckers stop at. But typically in every city area, we know the truck stop, right? Or the store where the truckers stop, because we're going to get that coffee and we're going to look in there and see what they got to eat, right? But one of the things that can affect your health is unhealthy eating from these truck stops or stores that function kind of similar to truck stops, right? They have a lot of these foods that are bad for us, but because we're in a business where we gotta what? Hustle and bustle sometimes, get it and go, that kind of thing, we tend to go in and get these foods that we can get and move on pretty quick, right? Because we don't have time to sit down and eat, right? So typically that makes us ends up getting something that we can grab and eat as we're driving, because typically you're not going to be able to eat a plate lunch, which may be a more healthier offering than we could chicken nuggets and all this fried chicken and fried this and that. We grab it because it's something that we can hold the wheel with and eat at the same time, right? Right. Well, all of the time I would suggest that many times that is us eating things that are unhealthy, right? So I want to suggest that we need to be careful about that, right? Not only at eating at these kinds of stores and places, but unhealthy eating by way of fast food, right? Whoppers and Big Macs and all these things, Wendy's, whatever your pleasure is, we tend to stop at these places and grab something because it's what it is, right? Fast food. But fast food is not always good food, right? And so you can delve off into a pattern of daily stopping at these kinds of places, and before you know it, you're into a whole pattern and lifestyle of unhealthy eating Monday through Friday, right? Which is more days than what you're spent on the weekend. So you're eating unhealthy, even if you're eating right on Saturday and Sundays, you're eating unhealthy Monday through Fridays, okay? All right, and so watch this. This is what happens. This unhealthy eating leads to weight gain, right? I've seen truck drivers, and even myself, I'm guilty, gain weight, from the years of being on that dump truck, right? Because before I knew any better and started to do any better, I was engaged in unhealthy eating at these stores and into a lot of fast food, right? And so this is how the dump truck business, or driving a dump truck, can affect your health, right? So what are the solutions to that, Country CEO? Well, pre-plan your eating, right? If you're significant other or yourself. Basically plan your week out of what you're going to eat and bring it with you. I started bringing a ice chest with me. I would get ice every morning or bring my ice from home, and my wife would fix me some healthy stuff that I can bring with me. If I knew that I was going to be somewhere where there's a microwave, I could bring the dinner that she cooked last night, right? Or I started figuring out that, okay, I'm going to be in this area tomorrow. This store has this, or a Subway or somewhere. But just pre-planning, thinking it out beforehand of where I'm going to stop so I can eat healthy and break out of this unhealthy habit. Because just because I'm in the dump truck business and driving a truck doesn't mean these are the only choices and I have no choice but to go down this road, right? All right, so bring your lunch with you or pre-plan where you're going to stop and what's in that area, and stop at stores and places that have offerings of healthy varieties of food, right? So that's one way how the dump truck business can affect your health with unhealthy eating. But secondly, body aches and pains. Don't I know it? Body aches and pain. Driving a dump truck will, at some point, you will experience back pain, right? You will experience knee pain, particularly left knee pain from clutching, right? All right. So what are some solutions to that? Oh, well, let me give you one more. Hemorrhoids, right? A lot of folks might not want to talk about that, but hemorrhoids is one of the things that you can encounter from driving a dump truck, right? All right, and so these, I'm not saying are exclusive for everybody, but I know a whole lot of truck drivers in dump trucks and other trucks that experience these things: back pain, knee pain, and hemorrhoids. So what can we do to that? I would suggest to you that as a truck driver with a dump truck, invest in you a good seat. If that dump truck does not have a good seat, I'm telling you, get you a good seat. You can go to your dealership. You can get on Google, Amazon, find you a heavy-duty, cushioned, well-cushioned seat. In the meantime, you can go on Amazon or Google and find you a seat cushion, right? Until you can get that good seat. But by all means, you need a good seat in that truck if you're going to alleviate some of these aches and pains that are associated with driving a dump truck. If you can't, go spend $800-900 on a good seat, heavy duty seat, then get you a seat cushion to put in that seat. And I promise you, I'm here to tell you, it'll make all the difference in the world, right? All right. Another thing, and I often would hear this from my doctor when I would go and renew my medical card. He would tell me, he says, look, you got a little edema or swelling down by your ankles. Are you getting up and walking or stretching your legs during the day in the truck? I said, well, doc, not all the time. He said, well, I'm telling you, you need to get up at least every 2 hours, stretch your legs, and walk around for 10 or 15 minutes. Let that blood be able to flow freely. He said, you're sitting down for long periods of time. That's not a good thing, right? And I said, well, doc, sometimes we're on these jobs and, you're going back and forth. You don't have time to really stop. He said, you're going to have to make time. Somewhere along the line, for every 2 hours, he said, I need to get up and stretch those legs about 15 minutes. All right. So I'm here to tell you that driving a dump truck can affect you in such a way of causing swelling in your lower legs. I've even heard of guys getting blood clots in their lower legs and have to end up taking blood thinners, that kind of thing, right? So you need to stretch those legs about every 2 hours, stretch them out about 15 minutes. You can do a little longer. Then that's great. And I'm telling you, you're going to be on jobs where you can do that. Asphalt jobs, the truck's bagged up, you're in a line. Get out, stretch those legs. There are times when you think about it that you'll be able to do that, right? All right, so please do that. All right, so what do we have? The dump truck business affects your health by way of body aches. It affects your health by way of unhealthy eating if you're not careful, right? All right, so here's what you need to do. Here's some things you need to do to combat these bad habits and things happening to you, right? You need to put you some healthy snacks in your truck. Keep you some healthy snacks and not unhealthy snacks, unhealthy foods, right? Because sometimes you might get stuck somewhere and they might keep you there through lunch and you ain't got nothing else in the truck, right? Keep you some healthy snacks in your truck, right? All right, exercise whenever possible when you're not at work, right? On the weekends or in the evenings, man. If you can go and walk for 30 minutes, it'll do you all the good in the world. 30 minutes a day is what most people suggest. Even now, I try to do 30 minutes of walking a day, at least 4 days a week. All right. All right. So what else? Bring exercise equipment with you on the truck, right? There's those stretch bands that you could be stretching out in the truck. All right. And then there's a multiplicity of other things, small equipment and things that you can use to, get some blood flowing and getting that heart rate up a little bit while you're in the dump truck, right? All right. Avoid those sugary energy drinks, right? I know sometimes I've been guilty of it, grabbing that Red Bull, grabbing those energy drinks. They're not good for you, right? They're not good for you. They're bad for your health. Too many of them, studies have shown and suggested that, right? And if you're one that's dependent on that stuff to keep you going and keep you going, most of you already know if you tried them. There's a crash that comes behind that, and they're just not good for you, right? So be careful with that. All right. And just be proactive about these things. Be conscious of the fact that while I'm enjoying being in this truck, there are some things this truck is doing to me that I need to be proactive about to make sure that it doesn't end up being a bad situation later on in life. Right. All right. And then finally, I'm going to tell you what driving a dump truck does. It can be stressful, right? Because you're dealing with traffic, you're dealing with four-wheelers pull out in front of you, stopping in front of you, all that crazy stuff that some people in these cars do that you just can't understand. Or we wondering how they even get licensed, right? So that creates stress, right? Stress creates high blood pressure, right? And high blood pressure is a no-no for a truck driver. When you go to get that medical card, that's the number one thing they're checking for. And if that blood pressure is out of range, they're not going to give you that medical card. They might tell you to go in the lobby for about 20 minutes to come back and recheck. And if you recheck still high, you cannot get that medical card, right? So remember, stress builds up, and stress can cause high blood pressure, not just from driving a dump truck, but just other things in life, right? Or some of us I have high blood pressure. I don't mind telling you that, but mine came from it being hereditary. My mom has it, her mom has it, right? And so I have to take medication for that. But when I go get that medical card, one thing I know I don't have to worry about, it's in range and we're going to be all good, right? All right, if this video has been valuable for you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, right? All right, so here we are. Let me summarize for you. How does a dump truck, driving a dump truck rather, affect your health? It affects your health by it can help delve you into unhealthy eating habits, right? Be mindful of that. You can end up with body aches, right, that you never felt, right? But you can do some things about that I've talked about. And you want to make sure that you stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, right? Keep those body organs functioning like they should. Water helps with that, right? And let's just be proactive in making sure that we stay healthy, right, for the long haul, right? All right, here I go. Here goes the shirt. If you want to grind, right? If you want to shine, you got to grind. All right? Country CEO, I'm out of here.